I've always like listened to my gut. I've always listened to like, just knowing that I've always felt like there was this thing pulling at me where I'm like, there's something that I should be going towards. And I was just like, where I'm at is stifling me.
Sure.
And I was just like, it just doesn't feel right.
Where were you? What were you doing before?
I was an architect and a designer for a major retail company. I loved it. It felt like, oh my gosh, I'm working. I'm doing 6 figures.
You had it made. Dream job.
Yeah. And it felt like, this was the stability that I needed.
Well, that's what we think it is.
That's what we think.
There's no such thing as stability in entrepreneurship or in your 9 to 5. That's the truth of it.
None. And, I just didn't feel complete. And I still, even though I made money, I had student loans. I was a single mom. I was still trying to make ends meet. And I was just like, this can't be it.
Sure.
So I'm like, I just have to rely on what I know and what this thing that's pulling me towards it. And I'm like, I have to just try. And, and I always tell people, I'm like, start even if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Like just
start messy.
do the thing. Start with a mess.
Yes.
Like, and you gotta, make something out of the mess and make the message. And, I encourage everyone all the time because you don't know the amazingness that's around the corner.
Yes. Yes. This is so good. The thing that I'm pulling out here is we all have our own fear. So it sounds like, people will try to lend their fear to you. I know I don't need anyone's extra, right. So you have people who will literally pick up the phone. It's funny because I have a similar story where, and I don't think I've ever shared this on the podcast. They've only shared it with friends where I was in the natural hair space when I first started, which for those of you guys who aren't familiar, it's where Black women or women of color, curly haired women will cut their hair off if it's been heat treated or chemically treated and then document kind of growing it back, that journey of getting back to your natural textures. And so I was doing that online, almost a decade ago now. So I don't even know how that math is. I mean, I'm 25. That does not add up to me, but whatever. So in any case, that's where I started. And I was part of several communities online and in person, where we'd have these events and great things. And actually, I think you used to come to those events and sell at those events and all that. And I will never forget when I started making the shift to opening up my own consulting company, how many people were uncomfortable with it. And I say uncomfortable with it, meaning they vocalize like, why are you doing what you're doing? And there's no way she's making the money she's claiming to make. And there's no way that her business is going to be successful. And she's too boisterous about, earning money and the way to do it and all those things. And I just remember at the time feeling like garbage. I felt
because they're passing on what they feel about themselves to you.
Oh my gosh. It was crazy.
I had the same revelation and I understood it. Even with travel, like my friends used to be like, well, why are you going to Africa? Why are you going to these islands? And like, who do you think you are?
Yep.
And I started to ask myself,
who am I? What am I doing? What do you think? Is it too much?
Right.
Which is nuts because people are asking you that from home.
Sitting on their couch, hating the life that they have,
asking you what you're doing going someplace. It was crazy. And when that happened to me, I mean, it's already fearful enough starting a business. So for anyone who's listening and saying to themselves, I don't know if I should do it because no one supports me, everyone around me has something to say, please recognize that if someone is speaking out on your destination, but they don't even know how you want to get there, they can't dictate what path and steps you're supposed to take. They've never been there before. They don't know where you're going. So be very careful. Consider the source of the message being shared with you.
Definitely. And your journey is not their journey.
Listen, that.